Sometimes. It depends on how you make it.
They have a sauce.
They have a sauce. I like that kind of stuff. I like tacos and burritos and enchiladas and fajitas, all that stuff. No. But it has like a bold flavor and everything. A flavor you could say is like loud because it's like, whoa, hello. When you eat spicy stuff, you can feel the burn a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
Ghost peppers didn't feel that.
no, you didn't feel it? The ghost peppers?
Can I tell you
That's
my
interesting.
favorite spicy food?
Yes, so go
I
ahead.
don't know if you guys mostly know about it, but it isn't a taco. It isn't a burrito. It's Takis.
Yeah, we had some Taki fans out here today.
Yeah.
We had some Taki fans here
I don't
today.
like Takis because they're not that hot.
But you know, like, so when I eat tacos and burritos, I like the mild sauce, okay? Huh? I'm good. I started choking on that, so I'm all right now.
Wait,
Thank you.
why?
Thanks for
Repeat
asking.
that. Why are you telling me Pat Strong can choke on a taco?
I was sorry. It got on my throat a little bit. Thanks, dude, for looking out for me, buddy. I appreciate it. But when I eat that kind of stuff, I like the mild sauce. I like the stuff that's not so in your face or anything like that. And it kind of correlates to what the third beatitude is. What the third beatitude is. This is what the third beatitude is. Who can read this for me? Go ahead, Elijah. Since it was your birthday yesterday.
Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5.
That's right. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. So this is number 3 out of the 8. We're almost halfway through them already. It's crazy.
No.
I know. So who can tell me, who's ever heard this word meek? Who's ever heard this word meek before? Anybody? You've heard of geek?
I heard of geeks.
May have heard of freak, peak, beak, seek.
Oh, I know it.
This is called a rhyming class now. So it's all the, all right.
Okay, I got one. Bird, birdie, Barney.
Okay. So all right. So we know all these words that rhyme with it. But has anybody actually heard this word before?
No, because it doesn't exist.
It exists. It's an actual word.
Oh.
It's an actual
I
word.
need to go back to school.
It's meek. Now, do you want to know what it means?
What?
It means meek. Meek is meek. It's kind of an interesting definition. But let me throw out.
Meat, like I got meat.
No, not meat.
Whoa, Arby's got
Yes,
the
I was
meat.
gonna say it's not Arby's. It's not. We got the meat. It's not. No, it's meek. You may have heard some of these adjectives though. Let me show you some of these adjectives. Meek is being meek, but some of the adjectives, a word kind of like it, is humble and mild-natured. Has anybody heard the word humble before?
Yes, that means kind.
We all. I figured that may have helped us out a little bit because we all have heard this word before, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking for people who are raising their hands up. Who can tell me what the word humble means? Who's got a definition of the word humble? Alex.
Like, is it supposed to be like can it be a sport?
You can use it in a sport way.
Well, I mean, it's like humble is like kind of like football, but instead of fumble, so.
Okay, it kind of rhymes with fumble. Okay, who's got another idea of what this word humble means? Zoe.
It's like it rhymes with mind. It's kind mind.
A kind mind. Okay.
It rhymes to.
Who knows? You could also say humility. Does anybody know what humility means?
Embarrassed.
Zoe.
Not embarrassed. It's not embarrassed. Alex.
Humility. Humility.
Humility.
You just humiliate yourself. Yeah, humility. I can't say it, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You just humiliate you know what I'm saying? Yourself.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
What?
Yes, so no, there is a difference between humiliate, which means to embarrass, and humility. Humility or being humble means. Because what do you think the opposite of that would be?
Rudeness.
Rudeness. Okay.
I got one.
We're getting on the right track. What's that?
Bossy.
Bossy. Okay.
I got one.
Zoe.
Like hitting, biting, punching.
Well, that's just being really mean and being a bully.
So what's
Tammy?
it say? Disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
What is it?
These are maybe attitudes, but we're talking about what the opposite of the word humble would be, and that would be like you guys said, mean, kind of rude.
Taking them in their sins.
You could even say a little prideful. Who knows what prideful is?
Bully.
Bullies can be prideful. Does anybody know what prideful means?
Having too much self-pride.
That's right. Prideful. All right, guys. Hey, shh. Prideful. Being prideful or showing a lot of pride can be used in a way of like, oh, look at me. I'm the coolest thing ever.
No, you're not.
I'm the most awesome person to ever walk on the earth.
It's kind of like complimenting yourself, but never complimenting anyone else.
Exactly. Whereas when you're humble, you're like, you just kind of sit in the background. A lot of people say if you're quiet, you're kind of humble, you're kind of chill, you're mild. Yes, Zoe.
Kind of like when you are kind and give the homeless like money and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind
Bro,
of like
I
you're
could
thinking.
be acting like the homeless. Sprinkle my shirt, get up,
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to talk to you. So it's blessed are the meek. This third beatitude. There is somebody in the Bible who is the perfect example of what being meek, humble, humility. He is a perfect example, the ultimate example of what. Who do you think it could be? Who can we use as a really good, the best example of how, as we talk about being meek and being humble? Who do you think we could use? Alex?
To be me.
No, to be like kind,
Oh.
humble,
Oh.
meek.
Tina.
Uh,
No, she's not in the Bible.
she's not in it. Athena's not in the Bible.
Okay, no,
Zoe?
I got it. Okay.
Yes!
Oh my God, I was gonna say that.
Yes,
I was joking around at
Jesus.
first.
Jesus is the best example, the ultimate example of kind of what this beatitude, what this attitude of the meek and the humble look like.
I was
So
joking.
I know you were joking. I know. So let's talk about this for a little bit. How could Jesus be, or how is Jesus the best example of being humble, being meek? Tammy?
He treats everyone with love, even though we did something bad to him, he still treats us love.
He treats us with love no matter what. Zoe?
He would help out the homeless.
He would help out everybody, right? The people who were, all of the people he encountered. Alex?
He would put his hand on somebody, his healing hand, if somebody's like getting hurt, and he'll like, and if somebody's going through hard stuff, like hard times, like me, and my family, then he'll like help us and cheer us up, and if we're sad, he'll be sad.
Exactly, yeah. All of these answers are really good answers of how Jesus is the best example of somebody who is meek and humble. Now let me ask you this. Jesus, remember when we talked about all the things that Jesus is back in April? And I said that Jesus is, what? He's above, yes, Elijah. Jesus is kind. It does start with a K, the word I'm looking for. But they wear crowns. They wear crowns on their head. It said Jesus is king, right? Now where do kings live?
Queens too.
And
In a castle.
In a castle, right? So when a king and a queen are in the castle and they have babies,
They make out have babies.
where is that baby born?
In heaven. In his stomach.
Okay, in the
Oh, no,
stomach.
in the hospital.
A hospital, and then they take it to the castle, right, Elijah?
In somebody. It gets born in somebody.
Okay, yeah, it's in somebody, and the mom, they give birth.
They go labor.
And usually a king and queen, all right, usually what would happen is a king and queen, they would either go to a hospital or they'd bring people to the castle and help out with that. But Jesus, who is the King of Kings, was born here.
And what is that called?
I didn't know we were talking about Jesus.
The manger.
A manger. Now,
Look
do
at
you,
that little cute
do you-
Bro, that's
What's
really
that?
cute. That a horse.
yeah, do you know what happened to mangers, what mangers were used for?
Hey, yo, it's kind of bro.
All right, shh. Looking for somebody who's really, really smart. What were mangers used for?
Horses and like for feeding the animals.
For feeding the animals, right? For feeding the animals and everything. And so Jesus, the Bible talks about how, we know it in the Christmas story, Jesus was born in a manger, a place where animals ate, where animals hung out. Jesus was born, and he was the Son of God, or is the Son of God.
Is that why the sun's so bright, or is it me?
and he is the King of Kings.
Is that why
This-
there's a circle around his head?
all right, shh. This isn't a place where people who are kings or queens are usually born, is it?
No.
No. So why do you think Jesus would be born in a manger? He's the King of Kings. He's the ultimate king. He's the Son of God. Why do you think this is where Jesus was born, Zoe?
Because his parents were very poor and they couldn't afford a house.
Okay, well, they couldn't afford. There was no room in the whole
Bro,
hotels,
you're the
right?
Son of God.
They had to travel because there was a census, so they had to travel. All the rooms were full. This is where they ended up. But God could have orchestrated this whole thing where Jesus was born in like a castle. He could have been put into a different family. Alex, what do you think?
I think it's because of. What you say? What you say? Bruh. Okay. I think it's because like that in there or somewhere, or probably like there's no available rooms.
Yeah,
And
there's
like,
no available rooms.
No, like actual like what are those things called for now? Cart? No. Well, it's like car seats, but a crib.
Okay.
They don't have a crib, so they made a crib technically.
Yeah, this is what they had to use for a crib. Would you say this is a kind of a humble place? Like this isn't all that impressive. This is kind of a humble place to be born, isn't it? Yeah, some people are nodding their heads. Yeah, it's a kind of mild place. Nobody's really going to be. We know the shepherds were there, but wise men came later, way later. But this is kind of a humble place to be born with a bunch of animals. So Jesus grew up. We know that. Jesus grew up and he started doing his ministry and everything.
He started doing chores.
He started to heal people. He started to do miracles. He started to help set people free. And then he decided, right before he was going to be crucified, he went into Jerusalem. And all these people were saying, yeah, this guy is going to be the one who frees us from Rome. We've talked about that during Easter, how they thought he was going to be like an actual king in their minds and how he's going to free them from Rome. And Jesus, he rode into Jerusalem on something. What kind of animal did Jesus ride into?
On a camel. On a camel.
Donkey. Athena is right. It was on a donkey. Elijah. It was on a donkey. Now, there's a donkey right there. He's kind of right there. There's Jesus, donkey, people all over the place. We know this story, right? We know about Palm Sunday. We know about Palm Sunday. We know how it was a donkey. And why a donkey wasn't usually an animal ridden by a king.
I have a question.
It wasn't.
They have a horse.
Hold on, Zoe. I'll get you in a minute. A donkey wasn't somebody that wasn't an animal that a lot of people would ride on.
King right now, it would be a mountain.
Yeah. People, you didn't look at donkeys very highly. A donkey was like a humble animal. So when Jesus was doing this, he came in a very lowly way into Jerusalem. Zoe, what's your question?
So did they even have horses back then, or they only had donkeys to ride
Oh,
on?
I'm sure they had horses.
Why
I'm sure
did
they-
they choose a donkey?
Most people
So you don't have to
probably
lean
go
over
on,
and fall.
camel.
To heal people.
Camels probably were a big one. So let me ask you this. Did Jesus, when he was around, we know he was born in a manger, which wasn't very, it's not very kingly, right? It was kind of a humble way. He entered into Jerusalem in a humble way, riding on a donkey. He didn't have camels or a parade or anything. Yes, Athena.
When before Jesus was born, when they rode on it.
Yeah, they did ride a
I
donkey
think I know
into
why
Bethlehem.
they
But let me
did
ask you
all
this. When Jesus was doing miracles and when he was healing people, was he all like, check it out? Was
Don't
like-
get out, boy.
was like
Got
you-
some beans in the back.
Was Jesus like, check this out? You see what I just did?
No.
Did you see that?
Yeah, show enough.
Did he? When people asked Jesus for help, did Jesus go, all right, let me see what start
Let me see
stretching
my
it off?
power, bro. Let me
You're like, check this out. This is about to blow your mind. Did Jesus do that?
No, he said by
He said, by your faith you are healed. And also, did you guys know that a lot of times in the Bible, Jesus told people, hey, don't tell anybody? Did you guys know that? There's a lot of times in the Bible, after Jesus heals somebody, The person will be like, oh my gosh! And Jesus will be like, hey, let's
Let's
keep
calm
this,
down.
let's keep this quiet, you know.
Try
Calm
to do
down.
my work here.
So Jesus, he wasn't a show-off, was he?
Nah, that's why.
No. But do you think Jesus could be a show-off?
No.
What do you say, dude?
If you wanted to.
If he wanted to. If Jesus wanted to, he could be like, check this out. Let me show you what's up real quick. In fact, in Philippians, I'm going to show it to you. In
I got a
Philipp,
question. I got a
all right, hold on.
answer.
Let me read this for you.
And I read
Philippians says this. It's talking about, Paul's talking about Jesus. It says, who, being in the very nature of God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped. But he made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And being found appearance as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient to death, even death on a cross.
On a cross.
On a cross. So Jesus, you're right, dude. If he wanted to show off, he could have showed off. He's the Son of God.
I think
When he was on earth doing ministry, he could have easily been like, I'm the Son of God. I'm ready to show off right now. Yes, Elijah.
what time is it?
Not time for church to be over.
God dang.
Jesus could have showed off if he wanted. That's what Paul's talking about. But Jesus, let's look at this again. What did Jesus decide to do? Who can help me out? As we look at this, what did Jesus decide to do? It's right here in front of you. Read it over a couple times, and you'll find the answer to the question. What did Jesus decide to do? Do you guys see it yet? Zoe?
Be humble.
Yes, he decided to be, he humbled himself, right? He humbled himself. He made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. And we talked about how Jesus is the ultimate example of being a servant when we talk about Jesus in April.
I was about to walk up here and tell you, like, wait, he said it. What was that word, though? You keep repeating. I was like, oh, it's got to be
Yeah, so it was right there in Philippians, how Jesus chose to be humble. I think that's pretty cool. Jesus is, like I said, he's the best example of somebody who is meek, who is humble.
Pastor Austin,
Yes, Zoe.
like, it's good to, like, pray at every meal and before bed because, like, I don't know what you're going through.
You do not do that.
I
All right,
think
we're not arguing
anybody
right now.
can.
Yes, Darren.
Well, when are we gonna leave?
When it's time. It's not time yet. So Jesus decided to humble himself as a servant. This King of Kings and Lord of Lords, this master teacher, that's what the disciples called him. He is our master and our teacher. He humbled himself and served others. Jesus didn't walk around on earth saying, check it out, I am awesome. He didn't do that.
No, he went around and killing people and keeping them.
He didn't do that. Paul doesn't say how, that's what point Paul was making. He was saying, Jesus didn't walk around saying, check it out. He was talking about how humble and meek Jesus is. Because it says he who is in the very nature of God. He could have, like I said, he could have easily been like, yo, I'm God's son. But he chose and humbled himself and chose to be a servant. That is the best, the ultimate example of somebody who is meek. Somebody who is humble. And we should be humble ourselves too. Now we have Jesus as an example to help us out. In Ephesians 4, it's got that too. It says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bear with one another, and love. So we are to be humble too. We have Jesus as an example to look at and to help us understand what that looks like. But who likes somebody who always brags about themselves all the time?
Nobody.
When somebody's in your school, in your class, in your neighborhood, and we're like, yo, I'm the best student in this classroom.
That's
I'm the best.
Yes.
video game player. I can just destroy anybody in any video game. I am the best dancer. I'm the best actor. I'm the best artist. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's being boastful. That's being prideful. Who likes it when people are like that?
No, but I like people who they are. People who they are, and they should be who they are. They don't have to be showing off to be cool and to be like acting like they're so cool just to get friends. That's how you'll lose friends.
That is how you can lose friends. You can definitely lose friends by being prideful and boastful. Instead, people there are usually two groups. There are people who are prideful and boastful, maybe three. Maybe some people are in the middle of these two. Some people like to be prideful and boastful, be like, look at me, I'm awesome. And there are some people who are very humble. And they stay quiet. They know that they're probably better than the person who's, when I was in school, when I was your guys' age, there were kids who would get A's and B's on their school grades.
And they would show them off.
And they would show them off.
I know how that
But
is.
there were some times where I was very quiet about it, where I would do better than them, and I could have been like, aha, in your face.
But you did.
But I didn't do that. Because I know that people don't like people who are prideful.
Elijah, drop your ticket.
There's no award for somebody who thinks they are the proudest and the loudest. There's no award for somebody who is the biggest and the loudest. People don't like people who are prideful. So that's why Paul wrote again in Ephesians that we should be humble. Not think. It's good to think good about yourself. Okay, it's good to have good self-esteem and everything. But don't be thinking that you're better than anybody. Don't be like, I'm the coolest thing since whatever.
1925.
There you go. Thanks, Elijah.
I am the strongest kid.
Like don't be walking around, I am better than everybody. No, that's being prideful. That's not being humble. That's not being mean. I'm going to show you this other video. I got my puppet friend Douglas. He's back again. And we're going to see Tammy. Tammy's like, ah.
Good old Douglas.
Good old,
Can I say something?
good old Douglas. We're going to see what he has to say about blessed
Can
are
I
the
say
meek.
something? Can I say something about the God thing?
Yes.
So what I think is about why they did that is all those he didn't ride on a fancy horse or anything like that, is because he didn't try to show off and say oh, I'm the king, I can do whatever I want. And
Yeah.
and saying because normally kings that are actually kings that show off, they're saying they wear fancy stuff, they live in fancy stuff.
Yep.
But
You're right.
He just lived in I don't know what he lives in.
No, you're right. He lived in a very normal. He hung out with people. The Bible says he hung out with sinners, people who the other religious people they didn't want anything to do with. So you're right. Jesus, he could have came in a big fancy way, but he chose to come in a humble servant way. And let's watch this video and hear what Douglas has to say.
There's no prize for being the loudest or the proudest.
I'm the proudest.
Hey guys, it's me again, Douglas, and today we're going to be continuing in our series on the Beatitudes. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the third Beatitude, which is where Jesus said, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." And that word meek is kind of a weird word. It's not a word that we hear a lot, and it's actually kind of a really specific word. It kind of means gentle, and it kind of means humble or lowly, but really just means meek. Meek means meek. And I don't know if you know this or not, but the Bible was not written in English. This verse that we're talking about, where it says, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth," that was written in Greek. And the word for meek there, the Greek word means not just humble or gentle. It means like having lots of power and being very careful with it, right? Being very humble with it, being very gentle with it. That same word was used to describe Jesus when he was riding into Jerusalem on a donkey. Jesus is God. If Jesus wanted to just knock over Jerusalem and build it all up new again, he could have done it right then and there. But instead, as their king, he rode into Jerusalem, gentle or meek or humble or lowly, riding on a donkey. And so in all of these Beatitudes, Jesus is talking about kinds of people that you might think are unfortunate, right? But God says that they're blessed. And he's also showing us, the right way to live. You might think that this is the right way to live, but Jesus is saying this is the right way to live. And for this one, when Jesus says, blessed are the meek, I don't know about you, but if I have done a really good job, or if I am really good at something, if I'm really smart, or if I'm really strong compared to other people, I want to make sure that they know it, right? I think most of us do. I think most of us like to kind of show off. Maybe you've seen that guy walking around or jogging in your neighborhood, and he's got his sleeves are chopped out so you can see his big old muscles because he wants to show off his muscles. Or man, there's this girl in my class, her name is Michaela, and she's always raising her hand in class, and she's always trying to, be really loud about how smart she is. She's always trying to show off. But, at the end of the school year, we've got this award, and I can't even remember what they call it. It's some sort of Latin something or other where it's like, it's the award for the person who did the best in school. They got the best grades throughout the school year. And everyone thought that Michaela was going to get it because, Michaela was always talking, always raising her hand, always giving the answers, and always, bragging about how smart she was. And every time she got an A, she'd always tell everybody. But at the end of the school year, she did not get the award. No, see, there's this other girl in our class. Her name's Lauren. Lauren is really quiet, and I don't think any of us knew how smart she was because, she didn't raise her hand very often. And she definitely wasn't telling everybody every time she got an A+. But nevertheless, she was the smartest. She did the best in school. She got the award. Now, Michaela might have thought that the best way to live is to try to convince everybody else that you are the smartest, you're the best. There is no reward for being the loudest or the proudest. Not just in school, but in life. If you are the strongest person ever, God's not going to be impressed if you go pushing people around, trying to shove them around and bully them, showing them that you are the strongest. If you're the smartest, God's not going to be impressed if you go bragging about it all the time. And the truth is that no matter who you are the best at something. Maybe you don't know what your gifts or your talents are yet, but you've got them. God made each of us special. We are all unique. We all have something amazing to offer the world. And if you are loud about it, if you're showing off, then the only award that you're going to get, the only reward that you're going to get, is maybe people might look up to you. Maybe you just might annoy people, though. Jesus says that we should be meek and gentle, not show-offs. Jesus wasn't a show-off. Jesus could have totally been a show-off, but he wasn't. So my challenge to you guys today is that you would be meek, that you would be gentle, that you would be humble, that you would be lowly, and not show-off. Work hard, try to be the best, yeah, but don't be a show-off about it. Because the best rewards don't come from people, they come from God. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Hey guys, I hope you liked this video. And hey, did you know?
Can we do a moving video? Because I'm tired of standing.
Can we do the Disney?
No, we're not going to do Disney. We're going to wait in August. And see, like Douglas said, yes, Tammy. Yes, you go to the bed.
Why can't we do the Disney?
Because it's not August.
Can we get a moving video on?
No, we're going to stay Santa for just a few more minutes.
My butter.
So, huh? Y'all just need to calm down. Church will be over when it's over. You're fine. So Jesus wants us to be meek. He wants us to be humble. Like Douglas said, God isn't impressed when we're showing off. He wants us to be meek and humble. So right now we're going to close our eyes, we're going to bow our heads, and we're going to pray. And I'm going to pray that God helps us all not be show-offs, because there may be times where you're like, I could totally show off right now in this area. God's really given me a gift in this area. I'm really good at playing sports. I'm really strong. I'm really smart. I'm whatever it is. I could easily show off. I'm the best person who does puppets. When Pastor Austin asked for puppets, I'm the best actor in the Christmas play.